stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 1 minute from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 1 minute time check, stations.
On the Hawkeyes Sports Network from Learfield, this is Hawk Talk with Lisa Bluder. Presented by Oak Knoll, an active life care community. Also brought to you by Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Honda. To see how Honda crushes the competition, see your Central Midwest Honda dealer. Honda gets the Midwest. Hy-Vee. Score big savings with the new Hy-Vee Perks membership. Iowa Lottery. Be a VIP with the Iowa Lottery. Visit ialottery.com for details. University of Iowa Healthcare. Changing medicine, changing lives. And by U.S. Bank. Proud to support Iowa basketball. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. Live from the Hyatt Regency, here is your host, Rob Brooks.
And welcome to another Monday of Hawk Talk. Great to see everybody out after a big win by the Hawkeyes, and now just one away from their 20th victory of the season after a huge third quarter that led the Hawkeyes to that 92-73 victory over Nebraska at a great atmosphere at Carver Hawkeye Arena on Saturday afternoon. Just something about a Saturday afternoon basketball game. And now the Hawks have won 11 of the last 12 meetings against the Huskers, and in 8 of the last 9 have scored 80 or more points. And Caitlin Clark, of course, sensational in the third and fourth quarters, ended up with 38, 28 of those coming in quarters number 3 and 4. And now Caitlin, there's something about playing in Lincoln or playing against Nebraska. And Iowa City has scored 30 or more points in all 8 games that she has faced in Nebraska, and we'll certainly talk about that game. And then the Hawks hit the road. Seems like it's been a little while at Northwestern on Wednesday, and then primetime Saturday night game at Maryland. Coach, welcome.
Thank you, and thanks for everybody for coming out tonight. This is great. Appreciate everybody.
A lot of black and gold in the crowd, right?
A lot of nice faces out here tonight. So thank you for coming out and supporting us. We really appreciate it.
And you talk about support. I mean, the parking lots around Carver Hawkeye Arena was just jam-packed 2.5 hours before the game, and everybody got in, that's for sure, and that's the key thing.
Yeah, I mean, what a great turnout on Saturday afternoon. I mean, it really is special to play in Carver, and you're right, Caitlin loves to play against Carver, or in Carver, and she loves to play against Nebraska, and she did it again. I mean, that second half, she was just really spectacular, and I mean, she just can do things that nobody else can do. But with the one time when she got the ball with 2 seconds around the half-court mark, somehow gets up a shot and gets a 3, I just started laughing, because it was like, what do you even do about that? That is just absolutely unbelievable.
And it seems like the 3-pointers now, it's not not 4 or 5 a game. It's 7 or 8 a contest, which is great to see, and still shooting a pretty high percentage.
Yeah, she was 8 for 15 from three-point range, which is very good. And she also had 10 rebounds and tied leading us with assists with 6. Also with 6 was Molly Davis. Molly had the unbelievable rebound where she's laying on the floor, gets tripped, lays on the floor, gets the rebound, passes it back out, and we scored on that possession. That was pretty amazing as well.
Yeah, Molly was playing offense and defense, swatting at balls and just attacking the rim. And, of course, that third quarter, I mentioned it in the open, 27-18 to really take care of this game after a 5-point game at intermission. So it really came out ready to roll, especially in that third quarter. And then you took some momentum to halftime, too, with that shot.
Yeah, I think we were down 4 when we called the timeout with about 2 minutes left. And then we went on a 9-0 run and took some little bit of momentum into the halftime. But I was just really happy with the way they responded in the second half. I thought we ran our offense much better. We had 20 assists in this game and only 11 turnovers, where we forced them into 20 turnovers. And so that's pretty darn good when you force 20 turnovers.
Yeah, that defensive intensity has really seemed to be ramped up, especially in the third quarter, Coach, and you got up by 19 with 2 minutes to go in that third quarter, and had to feel really good about that. And the paint was active in a variety of ways with 36 points in the paint, and that was good against a Nebraska team. Well,
against Nebraska, who has 2 really good post players, that has really been very, very good with both their 4 and their 5 scoring at the block area. In fact, their 4, who we talked about was going to be a candidate for Player of the Year, Natalie Potts, only ends up with 5 points in this game and has 3 turnovers. So she really struggled in this game, and I think it's because we brought some doubles at her. Molly was our doubler in this game, and I think she really enjoyed having that responsibility to be able to come in and double the post, whichever one was there. And so it worked out pretty well. Makowski had 7 turnovers in that game as well.
And scored just 17 points. Did have 11 rebounds, but 6 out of 12 from the floor. So really kind of held her in check for the most part.
Yeah, that's the one thing I was disappointed about the last 2 games is our rebounding. We had been just doing really, really well on the rebounding. We lost that rebounding war 40-31, and that's, to me, we only got like 4 out of 31 offensive rebound opportunities, and that's just not crashing the boards enough. And that's something we really talked about this summer, is we wanted to be better on the offensive glass, and we had been. And this game was our worst of the year as far as crashing. And we had struggled. We knew they were going to be a good rebounding team. They were a positive 11 coming into this game, but they had 13 offensive rebounds is a lot. And we just, that was a point of emphasis for us going into this game, is to own the boards. And we didn't get that done. So we have a lot of, area to improve on in that area.
Well, in that third quarter, too, 10 of 14 from the floor, 71%, 5 of 9 from 3, and knocked down a couple of free throws, shot free throws for the game really well at 18 of 22. But, boy, when this team shoots those types of numbers, that's how you get on those big runs and get up by 19.
Yeah, absolutely. We shot the ball well from all areas, 53% from the field, 41% from 3, 82% from the free throw line. So, and we got to the free throw line quite a bit, 22 times, but I guess, Nebraska got there too at 25 times. But we held them, to 38% field goal shooting, and that really is a difference.
Led for 34 minutes and 58 seconds, and that's always something I like to look at, too, because even a close game, as it was in the first 2 quarters, you outscored Nebraska in the first quarter 14-11 and then 22-20 in the second, but still led for the majority of those minutes and not allowing the opposition to get on a run to where they have a possession or 2 lead.
Yeah, it's so nice when you can maintain a lead most of the game, because then that other team's always playing from behind, right? And it can wear on you mentally as well as physically when you're always playing from behind like that. So, again, you're right, almost 35 minutes that we led in this game, and I think we won. Yeah, we won every single quarter out there as well. And I think Nebraska is a really nice team, too. We're going to have to go back over there to Lincoln, play in Lincoln. But again, Caitlin enjoys playing over there. She's got some relatives in Omaha, and I think that helps.
Yeah, something's helping, right? I mean, I even remember going back to her freshman year and sophomore campaign, just some of her best games in those 2 years seemed to be at Lincoln.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it was a team that's given her a little bit of trouble. It's Northwestern. But we're going to find out on Wednesday. You'll have to tune into the radio or Peacock to get this game on Wednesday at Northwestern at 7 o'clock. It is sold out, but I do believe we're going to have a lot of Iowa fans there. We usually do have a tremendous amount of Iowa fans. Usually we outdraw the Northwestern fans, and with this being sold out, maybe there'll be more Northwestern fans, but I think there's going to be a good share of Iowa fans as well.
And that's one of those arenas, Welsh Ryan, that they've done a terrific job with in the remodel, but it's intimate. It's not a 16,000 seat arena. It's right in that probably 85 to 9,000.
Yeah, it kind of feels a little bit more like the Knapp Center or something like that. But they have done a great job of remodeling that arena, but it is like you're right on the floor. Kind of like Indiana, too. That's a tough place to play. I mean, you can't stand up without being on the floor in Indiana.
One of those places that goes straight up in the air like a theater. It
does, yeah.
Coach, we can't go too much further without talking about Sita Folter. I mean, just the job that she did coming off the bench. And she was here a couple of weeks ago and
I agree.
did a great job. And, boy, was she an impact player in her 20 minutes.
Yeah, she's averaging about 20 minutes of play a game, doing just a really good job on the boards for us. In fact, she led us with 2 offensive rebounds. So she got both of those the first half, and I think she scored off of both of them in this game. One of our 3 people in double figures at 12 points. Kate Martin was the other one. That also was in double figures for us. But Sid just, bringing so much positive energy. She's on the floor for loose balls. She's going to rebound for you. She doesn't shy away from any defensive assignment that we give her. And offensively, she's just kind of like, I'll take what I can get and not really having to force anything.
And seems to be getting more and more comfortable with that three-point shot.
She does, and that's really nice because that's something she really worked hard on over the summer. She went 1 for 2 in this game from 3 and a perfect 3 for 3 from the free throw line. But she really worked hard on her three-point shooting, so I'm glad to see that paying off for her.
And nice to see Taylor McCabe get into the game and knock down a couple of threes.
2 for 3 for the Nebraska native. Always nice when she gets to go in against Nebraska and do well against her home state.
And then, Kate Martin's production, too, just continues to be outstanding at the offensive end. 6 out of 11 had 16 points, and that's really become the norm, hasn't it? You kind of expect her to be in that double figures category.
Yeah, I really do. Kate Martin, I think, is playing her best basketball of her career right now, just on both ends of the floor, and she also had 4 assists in that game. Hannah was not, I don't think, herself in this game, and Addie O'Grady went in and played considerable amount of time for us in this game. And I think her height bothered them a little bit. Hannah's going to get on this. She's got a little bit of a cold right now, and I'm not making excuses for her or anything like that. But she's I'm expecting her to come out really, really strong tomorrow. Not tomorrow night, the next Wednesday night. Yeah, I got to remember where we are.
Well, she got to be strong tomorrow in practice.
That's right. That's exactly right.
And 12 steals too, and that's about deflections and kind of goes back to that defensive category where it even seemed like Nebraska at times had a tough time getting the ball where they wanted to go and had to settle for some tough twos.
Love that. That's what our goal is tough twos. We want to take away the easy 3. We want to take away rim shots, and we want to force them into tough twos. They shot a little bit better from three-point range than I would like. They shot 35%. They made 10 out of 29 threes. That's too high. That's the one thing defensively I don't think that we did a good enough job of. They usually score about 8.5 threes a game, and they scored 10 against us. So our three-point defense wasn't as good this game as as I'd like it to, but our two-point defense was exceptional at 39%.
Well, and Jazz Shelley, 5 of 11 from 3, but boy, she can really get going in a hurry.
She's a good player. Jazz Shelley's a very nice basketball player. I think she's first team all Big Ten in the preseason polls. Really got great range, quick shot, had 19 points against us, so just maybe a couple points above her average, but right around her average.
Yeah, one thing too about Addie O'Grady, had some seemingly really good minutes against Ohio State in a tough situation there in the third and fourth quarters. Is that still a position that's kind of by committee still?
It really is, and it's kind of like, who is playing best in practice, who had the best last game is who we're going to go with. I mean, Hannah's our starting center, and then it's kind of, Sharon and Addie are kind of battling it out for that second spot. Both of those players are working really hard, and AJ Ediger is working extremely hard too, and it's just hard when you're the fourth post. You're not going to get a lot of playing time. You're just not, and it's just really hard to be in that position, but she maintains a great attitude. She comes to practice every day ready to work hard, and that's all that you can ask of people. So I'm proud of their effort that they're giving us.
No doubt about it. So the Hawkeyes take care of Nebraska at home at Carver Hawkeye Arena. And as we talked about, a couple of road games to talk about as well. The Wildcats at Northwestern on Wednesday, and then, of course, Maryland. The only meeting with the Terrapins and the Wildcats coming up on the road this weekend. We invite you to jump into the conversation, whether you have a question here at the Hyatt Regency or you'd like to call in. 1-877-464-2957. 1-877-464-2957. As tonight's show is brought to you by Bud Light, proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. And don't forget that throughout the Iowa Corn Cyhawk Series, Iowa Corn promotes values that are uniquely Iowan. On behalf of Iowa's corn farmers, we salute all athletes for their hard work and determination both on and off the field. Just like our athletes, our state leads the nation in corn and ethanol production. You can follow Iowa Corn on Facebook to learn how corn grows Iowa. Appreciate everybody coming out. We're having a good time tonight at the Hyatt Regency in Coralville. And this is Hawk Talk presented by Oaknall. We are live from the Hyatt Regency from Learfield.
Hey, Hawkeyes, while your hard-at-working class are on the court, there's a team behind the scenes making sure that the power keeps going, the water keeps flowing, and the temps inside are just right. Introducing the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative. The collaborative is a public-private partnership between UI, NG, and Meridium. It delivers the funds UI needs to drive our academic and research excellence while optimizing campus utilities for a generation to come. Check it out at uiowaenergycollaborative.com.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Bananas are only 39 cents a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And 39 cents a pound is not just the price today or this week. It's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop and count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for bananas every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through!
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel, good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smartertogether. Member FDIC.
Our mission at Oaknall is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oaknall is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oaknoll.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
To anyone passing through our state, fields and fields of corn might be what they see. But the people who call Iowa home know it's so much more. Corn is ethanol, a homegrown, renewable fuel. Corn is delicious pork, beef, poultry, and dairy. Corn is in 4,000 products we rely on every day. So yeah, our highway views are full of corn, and we're proud of it. Because corn grows Iowa. Show your support for Iowa corn farmers at iowacorn.org/fan of corn.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk on a Monday night. We are here from 6 until 7 and presented by Oaknoll, live from the Hyatt Regency in Coralville. And of course, Oaknoll's mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through Life Care, a not-for-profit life plan community serving the Iowa City community for the last 57 years. Oaknoll is conveniently located near the University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, of course, Kinnick Stadium, busy Carver Hawkeye Arena, and downtown Iowa City. Proud presenting sponsor of Hawk Talk with Coach Bluder. You can visit oaknoll.com to learn more. Well, we've got the phones busy, and a question here from the Hyatt Regency, and let's go to our leadoff batter just
All
about
right.
every week. We'll head to Des Moines and join Anthony. Anthony, how are you?
Hi, Coach Bob. How you folks doing this evening? Hope you enjoy this nice warm weather.
I love it. Snow's melting.
It's a little damp out there, but it's time for that, right?
Oh, yes, it is. And guys, how about those Hawkeyes? I think we stepped back after that loss against Ohio State last Sunday. But two questions I have for you is what type of improvements have we learned from that Ohio State loss? What do you guys do to get better in this game from last game? And another question I have for you guys, what are your thoughts about the score back to the Super Bowl for the fourth time this 5 seasons? And guys, I'll hang up and listen, and go Hawks and go Keys. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I think that every time you have a loss, you have an opportunity to really, dive in and try to figure out where you could get better. And we certainly did that after the Ohio State game. We talked about a lot of things personnel-wise, a lot of defensive things. Boxing out certainly was one of the areas that we didn't improve on against Nebraska. That's kind of frustrating. But, I think you have to use that. But you don't want to only learn from losses. Otherwise, you kind of become a good loser. You want to learn from wins, too. And so we dissect film, whether we win or lose, really about the same way, because we want to learn from both things, not just from losses. But certainly you got to try to use it for good. So thanks, Anthony. I appreciate it.
Well, the one thing too, did not have a midweek game, so had some time to maybe kind of look at yourself and maybe a little bit different practice schedule this week than normal.
Yeah, this was our bye week, and this is it. Now we go straight. We don't have any more days off, and so we really, you might think, oh, we got in the gym and ran them hard after that loss, and that wasn't the case at all. Instead, we were really in a situation where let's give them some time off, because they needed it physically, mentally, because you have to use your buys wisely, and now we're done with them. And so if you don't, you're going to be exhausted by the end of the year. We're going to go now like 9 straight games without a bye and without any real rest, significant, or like double days, 2 days in a row or anything like that. So that was the case. But I thought they handled it really maturely, came back, practiced hard, very focused. The last thing you want to do is you want to see your players come and hanging their heads after a game. Don't want to see that at all.
Well, and you have this veteran group that have been around the block. Is it a pretty easy decision then when to back off practice, knowing that, hey, they've been through this before, they understand the situation?
Yeah, and it's not like they don't know the offense or the defense by now. They do, and so now it's like staying in game shape, and, really you go through every practice just praying that nobody's going to get hurt. I mean, you just don't want to have that happen either. There's just so many injuries going on in the game. Just today, it was Minnesota said said that Maura Braun, their leading scorer, is going to be out the rest of the year. She hurt her ankle in the Illinois game and is having surgery. And so it's just terrible, these injuries, you just keep seeing them happening to players. And so I'm very thankful that we've been healthy and just will continue to pray to stay healthy.
And let's go to Delaware. Jimmy, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
Coach Bluder, I just wanted to say hi to you. I'm all the way in Delaware here, and I wanted to say just one thing.
What's that?
I don't really watch much basketball, but I never watched the women's basketball game until last year when you all were in the NCAA tournament. But I have fallen in love with your team. Every single one of those kids are awesome, and I always look forward to listening and to you. And I just came across a situation that you had, and I wanted you to talk about it because I was driving to work the other morning, and I found out about this Ava Jones girl, and it touched my heart completely.
Yeah. So your question is just to kind of give you an update on her?
Please, I would love for you to do that for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Jimmy, I thought when I saw you were calling from Delaware, I thought you were calling from West Delaware, right. Iowa. But then I heard your accent and knew you weren't. So appreciate you listening all the way from Delaware.
We've had a few calls from out east this year, which is great.
That's wonderful. We really appreciate your support of the Hawks all the way out there in Delaware. But yes, Ava Jones is on scholarship. Obviously, she's not playing this year. She's not capable of playing, but she's working really, really hard. She does physical therapy every single day. She does speech therapy. She just had a surgery on her eyes because she had kind of some double vision. So she's doing better with that now. That was a successful surgery. But man, she's working really, really hard, and she's at every practice. And she's not traveling with our team, but she is there in spirit for sure. So Jimmy, thank you for your concern about Ava. I really appreciate you thinking about her.
Jimmy, appreciate the call. And it's been interesting, too, because when Coach Jensen was on last week, we had a couple calls, incidentally, from out east as well, about, I never really watched basketball or didn't watch women's basketball, and I've now fallen in love with the Hawkeyes and now follow the sport. And boy, you hear that all over the country, and it's got to make you feel great about, one, the growth of the game, and then obviously with this basketball team.
Yeah, it really does. And I just think this team has something special about it that people really attach themselves to, whether it's the way that they play, the joy they have, the smiles that they have, the role models that they are. I couldn't be more proud of a group of women for sure. And it's going to be really interesting because we have at Northwestern. I do think we're going to have a good Iowa contingency. And then we play at Maryland. And it's so interesting when you go out to the East Coast and see all the Iowa fans that come to those games because they don't get a chance to see us in the Midwest. And so it's pretty rewarding. Like when we were at Rutgers, all the Hawkeye fans that were there, that is really special. And we found out we have a New York Metro club out there. Never knew that. Yeah.
I think they're everywhere, right?
I think they are. Hawkeye fans.
If we go to LA next year, I'm sure it'll be huge out there, right?
Yeah.
And that's just a great thing. Even watching the LSU South Carolina game. I mean, the television ratings was the top-rated show that night and better than every NBA game.
Yeah, that was a good game. I'm sure a lot of people in here watched that game, saw South Carolina come from behind, take the victory at LSU. Tonight, LSU's playing Mississippi State, so they're back on the court tonight. But yeah, it was, it's just exciting to see it happening all over the country, these sellouts that are happening and the attention that women's basketball is getting. So, I do think that, the way that our team performed and acted in the Final Four last year really helped grow this game. And so we just want to keep growing it. We just want to keep people getting excited about it.
And then the television ratings for the Ohio State game were huge. And then you'll be right back on national television on Saturday night at Maryland.
That's right. That's on Fox, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the growth continues. There's no doubt about that. Hey, the phones are busy, which we love to see. Let's head out to Emmetsburg. Audrey is on the line. Audrey's called before. How are you?
Yes, doing very good. I was lucky enough to attend the Iowa-Nebraska game on Saturday. And
I hope you had a good time.
I did. I certainly did. I thought you alluded to this a little bit earlier, but you kind of stole my question. But I thought the turning point of the game was when you called the timeout. Iowa was down 31-7. But what I want to know is, what did you tell the team during that timeout? And
that's a secret.
You also make the adjustments during the halftime since we had such a great third quarter. Thank you, and go Hawks.
Thank you, Audrey. Well, some things, we don't say on the radio. So, I just didn't think we were playing our best basketball. And that frustrates me because I always want to put a good product out on the floor. And I know they do too. It's not like they don't want to. It's just that we weren't focusing on the right things. And so, I think we got it together. At halftime, we really talked about, boxing out and crashing, which didn't improve. So that's a disappointment. But on running our offense, doing a better job of reversing the ball, getting a little more continuity in our offense, and reversing the ball, getting the ball inside out, because that's always the best three in my opinion. And really, I just think it was more of a gut check than anything else. It was more of a kind of a coming to Jesus meeting a little bit. Like they just sometimes, unfortunately, they need a little bit of inspiration.
Well,
so we tried to give them a little
right?
inspiration in there.
Well, and Caitlin, right next to you in the post-game press conference, talked about being coached and wanting to be coached. And, your starts, for the most part, I think have been really good this year. Yeah. And, it's going to ebb and flow, isn't it, every once in a while? Yeah, and this was a weird game. We get up 9-0, I think, and then all of a sudden we just went cold and turned the ball over in consecutive times, which is never good when that happens. But did a much, much better job in the second half. And, even to close out that halftime was really good. Right, yeah. No doubt about that. As the Hawkeyes take care of Nebraska, we will head back to the phones after we take a break and remind you that Dodge Street Tire and Auto, locally owned and operated and voted best of the area for the 10th consecutive year, proudly supports Hawkeye women's basketball. You can trust Dodge Street Tire for honest auto repair and the best deals on Goodyear and Toyo tires. Dodge Street Tire and Auto, celebrating over 30 good years on the corner of Dodge and Church Streets. Hawkeye fans, Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield certainly knows you're here for all the fadeaways, the buzzer beaters, the alley-oops, all of them. And Wellmark is here for every moment, too, with trusted health coverage committed to making healthcare better. Learn more at wellmark.com/hoops. Melissa from New Jersey, you are up next as we take a break. This is Hawk Talk presented by Oakdale, live from the Hyatt Regency in Coralville from Learfield.
Know that UI ranks near the top of the EPA's Green Power Leaderboard, with 84% of our energy coming from renewable sources. Now you can be a part of the team that makes it happen. The University of Iowa Energy Collaborative, our partner in a collaborative, ENGIE North America, is now offering part-time, on-campus positions where you can get hands-on, career-inspiring experience in sustainable utility systems management. Check out the jobs and apply now at uiowaenergycollaborative.com.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. While farmers work hard to grow the best crop, their Iowa corn checkoff investments are hard at work too. Opening local and global markets for corn and corn-fed products, educating drivers on unleaded 88 as the best fuel at the pump, finding new uses for corn, and sharing the farmer's story. Iowa corn farmers are backed by researchers, educators, market experts, and more to keep corn growing Iowa.
Around here, Jack Frost nips more than just your nose. That's why the Midwest gets Honda. Dependable, all-wheel drive, with heated steering wheel and seats to keep Jack Frost off your seat, which will make it very happy. And since it's no fun to gas up in this weather, isn't it cool that Honda has such legendary fuel efficiency? New Hondas are arriving, but so is Mr. Frost, so see your Central Midwest Honda dealer. Honda gets the Midwest.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oak Knoll is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through!
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel, good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smarter together. Member FDIC.
Hawkeyes still tied for first as we take a look at the Big Ten standings. Iowa at 8-1. Indiana and Ohio State with victories over the weekend also at 8-1. But this is going to be an interesting week because next Sunday, Indiana plays at Ohio State. So one of those teams will obviously pick up at least their second loss of the season. Then you've got probably the two surprise teams so far in Penn State at 6-3. Michigan State and Michigan, along with Nebraska at 5-4, and then Minnesota and Maryland at 4-5. Not used to seeing Maryland down in the middle of the pack. And Wisconsin had a good week, now 3-6, along with Illinois, Purdue, and Northwestern at 2-7, and Rutgers still looking for their first conference victory of the year. And Ohio State had a little bit of a scare over the weekend at Purdue, which is certainly a capable basketball team. Ohio State 71, Purdue 68. Indiana put 100 on Northwestern, 159. And then Penn State 112. Maryland 76, 112 by the Lady Lions.
That's a lot. That's a lot of points.
That's a
bunch. Also, Ohio State struggled a little bit at Illinois. That was a close game as well, the game before that. And Ohio State doesn't shoot the ball as well when they're away from their home court. Let's hope that stays intact until the end of the year when we host them in the last game of the year. So there could be a lot on the line. I don't know, but there could be a lot on the line for that game.
Yeah, maybe February and March they don't play as well away from Columbus. That'd be okay.
Well, and Indiana, Ohio State, that game is coming up in a week or so.
Sunday. Yep.
Sunday, and that is their only meeting
That's what
of
I was
the
going to
year.
ask you, yeah.
And that's, it's at Ohio State. Like, we play Indiana twice. We play Ohio State twice. And when Indiana and Ohio only play themselves once. You know what I mean? That's a tough one for us as far as our schedule. But, oh well. It is what it is.
Got to go play them, right,
That's
Coach?
Right. That's right.
But you kind of go. Those are the three teams going in. You would hope that they'd at least get that round robin going with all three.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's what the Big Ten tournament's all about, too, right?
Right, that's true.
Don't forget that no Fran McCaffrey show tonight due to the travel schedule. Actually, Iowa men in Bloomington, Indiana, tonight for a game tomorrow, but be back next week. So both shows on February the 5th. Of course, we'll be here with Coach Bluder from 6 until 7, and then Coach McCaffrey and Gary Dolphin and Bobby Hansen from 7 until 8:30. So
they
the
got
Hawkeyes,
a huge win over
How about the whole weekend,
Michigan,
right? Yeah.
At Michigan. That's a great win for our men. So congratulations to Fran and company on that win at Michigan on Saturday.
Two basketball victories on Saturday and a couple of wrestling victories over the weekend.
You can't complain about that.
It was all good. No doubt about that.
Yeah.
Well, as promised, we'll go back to the phones and bring in Melissa. Another call from the East Coast. She's in New Jersey. Melissa, how are you?
Hey, good guys. How are you? Hey, Lisa.
Good.
And hey, Rob. Good to talk to you.
You too.
I met Lisa and the whole crew at Rutgers, and I really, really appreciate you taking 2 seconds of your day to meet me and make my day as well. I just wanted to say that hearing what Caitlin has been saying about it takes 2 seconds to make somebody's day, doesn't matter how old or who it is, it could change their lives forever and make their years. So I love you guys, and it means a lot to me. I actually have a question as well about this. So my question is, I know Taylor came in a few days ago in the last game and knocked down 2 threes. I feel like the confidence builds no matter who it is, whether it's Taylor, whether it's Caitlin or anybody, or even seeing the other team make all those threes as well. Nebraska was on fire too, but you guys matched them. So my question is how do you have the players remain confident no matter what their role is, whether they're a three-point shooter or a big, just to stay confident when it's their time to go in and show what they can do. Thank you so much, and hope to see you soon.
Thanks, Melissa. It was great seeing you out in Rutgers. I appreciate that, your support out there on the East Coast.
What we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Hawkeye fans showing up.
Yep. And, really it's, confidence isn't like during a game only. It's something you work on all the time. I mean, it's something that you have to work with your team on. Every day in practice, it's how we go about practice. We try to build our players up. We still are going to constructively criticize them or coach them, but certainly want to build them up when they do something great. And so to me, it's a long-term process. It's not like this one thing that you can do. It's not just during games. It's how you are all the time. And you can see that our team, when somebody makes a three, when Taylor McCabe makes a three, that game may have been out of reach, but when she makes a three, that whole bench is up on their feet, cheering for her, so happy for her. I mean, when you see that love between the rest of them, that just makes you feel so good. And it makes her feel good, too, when she sees her teammates cheering for her like that.
You see so many pictures of the bench up, with the three-pointer or clapping for their teammates, and it's genuine, and they are into the game.
They are absolutely into the game and really very, very genuine. I'm glad you said that. That is so true, Rob.
You talk about young players, too, because everybody on this roster was a star in high school.
Right.
And came pretty easy for most of them. And then you get to the college level, and it's some oh boy minutes and times where you're going to say, oh boy, can I do this? Or if you slumped a little bit. And that's probably an area, too, where you just got to work your way through those times.
Yeah, and I think it's really hard for freshmen. I mean, they come, like you said, right from the, they're all-star, all-star, all-state, all whatever. And then, they come in here and all of a sudden like, oh, everybody's that good. And so it's kind of a rude awakening sometimes. But, again, if we can keep them involved in practice, and, one of our values is everyone matters, and it doesn't matter what you produce for us as far as points. It's what you bring to our circle, what you bring to our energy of our practice, the positiveness that you bring. Those are the things that, where everyone matters can really, really pay dividends.
We had a question in-house here about Gabby taking some mid-range jumpers. I remember one time she faked the three, took a couple of steps in, and knocked down a 15-footer. Has that been part of her game? Just we know she can shoot the three-pointer, but trying to get that mid-range game and get that defense in the air. Yeah,
well, I think Gabby, as you all know, like her shot's been up and down a little bit. She was 0 for 4 from 3 in this game, so I think she said heck on it after a while and just like, I'm going to take it in instead. Now, Gabby's not a person who's going to take it all the way to the rim. She's going to get her shot blocked if she does that. So she has to have that pull-up jumper. It's not my favorite shot, quite honestly. If I could have the ideal shot chart, it would be all threes and all rim shots. I think hard twos are the worst shot in basketball, and that's what we try to do defensively, is make people take hard twos. And if they go in, so be it, So some of those that she's taken are hard twos, but I don't mind hard twos at the end of the shot clock, and I understand why she's doing it, and I'm just glad they go in when she takes them.
And she brings so much more to the table. It just works so hard on defense. I know she always attracts a really tough assignment, and it just exerts so much energy at that end of the floor. And then you talk about steals and deflections. You go back, you have to have a role,
Yep.
and certainly she's played a huge part of that in her career.
Yeah, she had 2 steals again against Nebraska. I mean, she is always assigned the toughest defensive perimeter player, and she just welcomes it. It doesn't faze her. You know, I change sometimes from game to game. Okay, I need you to go over the top of screens in this game. I can let you go under on this screen on this game, and she just adjusts from game to game seamlessly. And that's hard to do when you're playing 2 games a week and you got to learn a new scout, new personnel, you know, twice a week. It's a lot of studying. And so I'm just so impressed with how she does that.
And there's been several games as of late where she's knocked down that 3-pointer.
She has, and I do have confidence in her. And I'd rather her take the open 3, to be quite honest. But if somebody lunges out at her, that's a smart thing to do, is to take the ball at them and pull up with it. So I like that kind of, you know, when she does a side 3 too, and she dribbles sideways and pulls up for the 3 instead of that harder 2.
Just got to keep shooting, right?
Exactly, and 3's greater than 2, so let's go for it.
And the Hawks have been knocking down those 3s, that's for sure. If you want to jump in on the conversation, we have got one more segment here for Hawk Talk, 1-877-464-2957, or if somebody has a question, come on up and we'll get it on the air. Of course, proud sponsor of the Iowa Hawkeyes every year is U.S. Cellular. You want to make the most of today by choosing game day traditions first and scrolling later. U.S. Cellular is built for us. And of course, we are here at the all-new Hyatt Regency in Coralville every week, and has brand new, freshly renovated spaces, so you can stay in new modern guest rooms that overlook the river, or check out the state-of-the-art fitness center, the pool, and the family lounge, and also the new cafe serving Starbucks coffee. Come and discover all the new updates and more on your next trip to the Iowa City area to cheer on the Hawkeyes. The net rankings, the Hawkeyes now up to number 5. And of course, that's certainly one to look at, especially as we move into the month of February, because that's what the NCAA selection committee will rely heavily on, the net rankings for women's basketball. South Carolina is number 1, Stanford 2, UConn in the 3rd slot, Texas 4, and of course the Iowa Hawkeyes, the top-rated Big Ten team, at 5. Indiana checks in at 12, and Ohio State 15. We'll go back to the phones when we come back. This is Hawk Talk, presented by Oaknall. We are live here at the Hyatt Regency from Learfield.
Did you know that UI uses the same amount of energy as all the rest of Iowa City? That's why we have our own power plant, and we're committed to making it clean. By 2025, we'll rely completely on climate-friendly, alternative fuels. Deep in the boiler rooms, engineers from the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative are optimizing the power plant so it can handle these new fuels more efficiently. Learn more about it at uiowaenergycollaborative.com. That's uiowaenergycollaborative.com.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
To anyone passing through our state, fields and fields of corn might be what they see. But the people who call Iowa home know it's so much more. Corn is ethanol, a homegrown, renewable fuel. Corn is delicious pork, beef, poultry, and dairy. Corn is in 4,000 products we rely on every day. So yeah, our highway views are full of corn, and we're proud of it. Because corn grows Iowa. Show your support for Iowa corn farmers at iowacorn.org/corngrowsiowa.
Bananas are only 39 cents a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And 39 cents a pound is not just the price today or this week. It's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop. And count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for bananas every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oak Knoll is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
Around here, Jack Frost nips more than just your nose. That's why the Midwest gets Honda. Dependable, all-wheel drive, with heated steering wheel and seats to keep Jack Frost off your seat, which will make it very happy. And since it's no fun to gas up in this weather, isn't it cool that Honda has such legendary fuel efficiency? New Hondas are arriving, but so is Mr. Frost, so see your Central Midwest Honda dealer. Honda gets the Midwest.
Great to see Coach Jensen in the house, taking pictures as always, and we appreciate her jumping on for Hawk Talk last week. Don't forget, we'll be back here next Monday. That'll be our first February show. Remember, no Fran McCaffrey show tonight as the Hawkeye men are in Bloomington, Indiana, but be back to normal next week. We'll be on with Coach Bluder from 6 until 7, and then Coach McCaffrey from 7 until 8:30. And, of course, couldn't do this without Oak Knoll's support, and their mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through Life Care, a not-for-profit life plan community serving the Iowa City community for 57 years and conveniently located by the University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, downtown Iowa City, and certainly a proud presenting sponsor for many years of Hawk Talk with Coach Bluder. You can visit oakknoll.com to learn more. We talked about LSU back on the court tonight. They have a 5-point advantage at the half over Mississippi State. That is at Mississippi State, 40-35. Also in the Big Ten this week, tomorrow night, Michigan State is at Rutgers, and Indiana at Maryland on Wednesday. So a lot of eyes will be on that contest before the Hawkeyes head to College Park on Saturday. Illinois at Michigan. Purdue travels to Nebraska, and Penn State at Minnesota. Mary in Davenport, we will get to you after the break as we will continue on Hawk Talk presented by Oak Knoll. We are live from the Hyatt Regency in Coralville from Learfield.
Hey Hawkeyes, while your hard-working class are on the court, there's a team behind the scenes making sure that the power keeps going, the water keeps flowing, and the temps inside are just right. Introducing the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative. The collaborative is a public-private partnership between UI, NG, and Meridium. It delivers the funds UI needs to drive our academic and research excellence while optimizing campus utilities for a generation to come. Check it out at uiowaenergycollaborative.com.
To anyone passing through our state, fields and fields of corn might be what they see. But the people who call Iowa home know it's so much more. Corn is ethanol, a homegrown, renewable fuel. Corn is delicious pork, beef, poultry, and dairy. Corn is in 4,000 products we rely on every day. So yeah, our highway views are full of corn, and we're proud of it. Because corn grows Iowa. Show your support for Iowa corn farmers at iowacorn.org/fan of corn.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Around here, Jack Frost nips more than just your nose. That's why the Midwest gets Honda. Dependable, all-wheel drive, with heated steering wheel and seats to keep Jack Frost off your seat, which will make it very happy. And since it's no fun to gas up in this weather, isn't it cool that Honda has such legendary fuel efficiency? New Hondas are arriving, but so is Mr. Frost, so see your Central Midwest Honda dealer. Honda gets the Midwest.
Bananas are only 39 cents a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And 39 cents a pound is not just the price today or this week. It's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop and count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for bananas every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Oh, coming through.
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel. Good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smarter together. Member FDIC.
The Hawks and the Northwestern Wildcats from Evanston on a Wednesday night. And don't forget that Maryland will be taking on the Hawkeyes in the state of Maryland on Saturday. So a couple of road games before the Hawkeyes will be back inside Carver Hawkeye Arena, not until the 8th of February, as a surging Penn State team comes to Carver Hawkeye Arena, the only meeting between the Hawks and Penn State. 8 o'clock for that tip, and Northwestern is at 7, and then 7 o'clock Central for the Maryland Terrapins. Northwestern at 7-13 on the year, 2-7 in the conference, and it's a team averaging 67 points. So they've had a tough time scoring, especially against some of the upper echelon teams, but have also given up 82 points a game. But as Coach Bluder mentioned, has given Caitlin Clark and the Hawkeyes trouble with that blizzard zone defense that Northwestern is been so famous for throughout the years. And then, of course, Maryland on Saturday. We'll talk a little bit about Northwestern, but let's get our final phone call in of the evening and go to Mary in Davenport, who's been waiting patiently. Mary, how are you?
I'm great.
Good.
Yes, you've already addressed some things I was calling about, but I wondered about Gabby, and I can never forget last year, front page of the sports section, where Gabby was just shocked that she made a 3, and she's made a bunch of 3s this year, so that's pretty cool. And also talking about how they come, they're stars in their high school teams, they come to college. It's like my nephew ref games that Caitlin Clark was in as a high schooler. So I think that was something she really learned when she came to U of I, about teamwork. And it was really neat to watch a few weeks ago where Caitlin was beating Hannah, and Hannah's a freshman. And of course, the most recent Hy-Vee where Caitlin is featured in an article, their Seasons magazine. She says everyone matters. And clearly, she understands teamwork very, very well. And Fred McCaffrey likes to say how his guys are unselfish, and I think the same can apply to the Iowa women. Last but not least, 6 years ago, May, the coaches were doing an East Coast tour of Iowa, and I took my sister who had Down syndrome because she was a huge Hawkeyes fan. She got hugs from the coaches and the cheerleaders and won a door prize, and it was a wonderful event for her and a wonderful memory for me. So, thanks, and go Hawks.
Thanks, Mary. Thanks for coming out to that event. I remember going through Davenport and with the iClub circuit, so certainly. And if your nephew refs Caitlin, I apologize for anything she said to him. So,
well, she was probably perfect.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Well, and she also mentioned Gabby Marshall and her three-point shooting. Well, Gabby's made 222 threes in her career. That's a bunch.
That's a bunch. And thank you for bringing that up, Rob. I agree. You always I think everybody just kind of sits on their edge of their seat waiting for that ball to go in, and how many times does it rim right, just a little bit out, and we all feel like she's robbed a little bit, but she's such a great kid, and really, really glad that she chose to come back for her 5th year. And has shot them at 40% for her career, and she's not done yet. That's really good. That's a good percentage. Yes, and I hope a few of those go in Wednesday. Yep. Coach, in a couple of minutes here, how about this Northwestern team? Well, Northwestern is down a little bit this year, 2-6 in the Big Ten. It's sometimes it's hard to keep your team focused when you're looking at a record of 2-10 and 7-12 overall. But this is a team that they're playing in their home court. It's going to be a sold-out environment. We need to come in prepared. We need to execute well because we're going to go off and play Maryland the next game on the road. It's really nice for us because both of these teams that we're going to face on the road, Northwestern and then Maryland, are both playing about half the time in a matchup zone and half the time in players. So it allows us to work on these things throughout the week, and it benefits both games. So that's pretty good for us. Kaylee Walsh is one of their leading scorers on this team. She's a 6'3" junior that plays the power forward position, outstanding rebounder. Milena Daly has really come on the scene for them. They're sophomore off guard, but there's a lot of new faces on this team, and they're young, and they haven't really kind of picked up on the Blizzard defense that Joe likes to play so much. And so they're really going like 50-50 player zone versus 95-5. And so it's a different looking team. But we're looking forward to going over to Northwestern and hopefully have some Hawkeye fans there.
Absolutely, Coach. Great show. Thanks so much. And we'll see you Wednesday in Evanston. And that is Hawk Talk for this Monday. Don't forget, we'll be on the air Wednesday at 6:45. The tip at 7, Iowa and Northwestern from Welsh Ryan Arena. We'll be back here for Hawk Talk next Monday, 6 until 7. Thanks so much for everybody that has come out all season long, and we'll see you next week.
On the Hawkeyes Sports Network from Learfield, this has been Hawk Talk with Lisa Bluder, presented by Oak Knoll, an active life care community. Also brought to you by Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Honda. To see how Honda crushes the competition, see your Central Midwest Honda dealer. Honda gets the Midwest. Hy-Vee. Score big savings with the new Hy-Vee Perks membership. Iowa Lottery. Be a VIP with the Iowa Lottery. Visit ialottery.com for details. University of Iowa Healthcare. Changing medicine, changing lives. And by U.S. Bank. Proud to support Iowa basketball. U.S. Bank. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.